Jared Clark, thank you, brother. Hit us up in the super chat. Jared said, Anna Jay, Tay Mello, Sky Blue, and Julia Hart are the future of AEW. My concern is that these girls haven't been elevated yet. Could you please ask TK to elevate them? And what do you think of elevating underutilized talent into undeniable?
Jared Clark, shout out, my man. I'll call it. I appreciate your observation, but I'll just kind of break down your question and statement. Make sure you name 4 talent. I can assure you from 39 years, it'll be 40 next year, 40 years of experience. It's hard to elevate 4, let alone 1. Time takes time. I will say all 4 ladies, I think you would agree if me and you were sitting around drinking a protein shake in honor of Casio, but if we were sitting around having a cup of coffee or whatever it may be and getting into a discussion, I think our giving take of the conversation would go something along the lines of, hey, man, let's pick one of the 4 and get that one over. And then after they get up, and I just think time takes time. And when you are looking at as deep a roster, and I could not agree, the future of AEW in the women's division, I'm assuming, I'm going to take that assumption that, look, the female side is a part of it. It's not all of it. But when you have Mercedes and Timeless One, and it goes without saying, they're at the very, very top, there's only enough room at the tip top for 1, maybe 2, you're pushing 3. Jarrett, my bad, Jarrett. So my bad. I just saw.
My bad.
Yep. Anyhow, Jarrett, the reality is that they're on their way. I think that's where I'm going with. I think we would be aligned in that. I don't think there's any doubt in my mind that you take any one of the 4 or take them as a group. They're undeniable. They're on their way. They have momentum, but time does take time. It's like a young AJ Styles. It's like a young fill in the blank of many, 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 many talents. I mean, you know, and look, yes, they're on a national stage, but you kind of look at a Bryan Danielson and the amount of years he really toiled his craft to the point where he got down on himself at times because he was never breaking through. And then he got to the WWE and didn't immediately break through. So some talent, it just takes longer than others. You know, some folks come on the scene and are shot out of a county and go right to the top. And unfortunately, some people that do that fall off just as quick as they got to the top. So I'll say this with, again, not just my 40 years, but many, many generations. The slower the build, the longer the career.
And also a good problem to have. When there's fans asking, hey, this person needs to get pushed. This person that means you've got that deep roster. You've got more than just a couple people at the top, and it speaks to how deep. And I heard multiple times by different people, whether in passing or literally riding in a car with them, speaking to how good the women's division is in AEW across the board in wrestling. But AEW that weekend in Dallas, everyone was talking about such an incredibly deep women's roster at AEW.
Yeah, no doubt.
Incredible. Let's see what we got here. Back to the mailbag. Carl Hayes said, Jeff, if you were to plan a concert with 4 or 5 acts, who would be the artist to play and the order? All right, well, so we've got the last Outlaw Fest. Who's playing it?
You're not going to like my answer.
Am I not going to buy tickets?
Oh, no. Well, I don't know. But what I would do I would probably call. I got buddies at every agency, but I'd call my buddy at CAA. I'd call my buddy at UTA, and I'd call my buddy at William Morris. And I'd say, yeah, those 3, I'd say, give me the top 5 grossing acts or the hottest act. Country, rock, rap, pop, and I'll let you kind of a catch in. So who is selling the most tickets and I'd book those 5 because I want to make money. And music, like professional wrestling, is subjective, and it just is. But you're kind of asking me what I like. And I'm being serious about that. I want it to be successful, and then I'd give each of those acts kind of the opportunity to say, hey man, you've got to invite this 3-day festival. You each have to invite 2 opening acts and give them an opportunity. And then I want you to bring them on stage with you at the end of your set to give them the rub. And I don't know, I'm getting into kind of a fantasy festival here. But no, you know what? And that's it. It really is. I mean, it'd be, you just personal. Toby would be on there. I would want to sit back and listen to one of my personal favorites, Toby. I like for guys, I'm not the,
Just say Taylor Swift and let's get this over with.
Oh, Tay for sure. The kids would be there, and my girls would be happy, and
and the money.
Well, that's why that she was coming already.
I knew. I was just waiting on it. I knew it was coming.
Oh, I don't know. There's some.
Is there a bucket list band you'd like to see that you haven't been able to see?
All these years, and I've always been fascinated by the creative process of Elton John and Bernie Taupin.
Oh, yeah.
That, Bernie writes those lyrics and then Elton puts the music to it. I think for our industry, I think there is something kind of magic in that. Okay, Elton, as successful as he is, he goes, Bernie, you go write this. Yeah, and I'm going to say, I think that's cool. I think you look at, Billy Joel, and I don't want to get politics involved in all this, but a Billy Joel and a Bruce Springsteen, guys that have these, Rod Stewart, some long legendary careers. I'm always fascinated at how long they've been in the game, and they keep on keeping on. I mean, again, the Stones, when you really think through all that, I would have loved to have seen Queen live in concert.
Oh, yeah.
Freddie, when he was on his game at the very top of it, it's hard to not say that's the most charismatic front man of all time. Like, let me ask you, Cassio, who do you think? Because charisma and selling the tickets, because I think a lot of folks, and I'm from Nashville, and you know the deal, that there's so many good guitar pickers and musicians around this town. It's mind blowing.
Yeah.
That don't mean shit, unfortunately. And there's a lot of songwriters, like really, really, really good songwriters that don't ever really get their break. It's just kind of that magical charisma that they write a good song, they have the right connection, the right pitch, the right timing, the right label, and the executive, and just so many different layers on how you really break out. But I think when you're talking about performances and performers, I mean, you can, Linkin Park and I mean, we could go down a list of bands from the 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010, but kind of look back on it. Who do you think is David Lee Roth? Who do you think is the most charismatic lead singer / frontman in history?
I mean, I don't. It's going to be hard to narrow it down to one. Of course, there's different generations of styles. I think Freddie's got to be in that conversation for sure. I'm a huge Led Zeppelin fan. I think Robert Plant is a magnet.
Yeah.
When you see him, you just go, for some reason, I need to pay attention to that guy, and that's saying a lot because he's got Jimmy Page next to him, and Bonham was behind him, and John Paul Jones over there. I mean, Led Zeppelin is fascinating. You know what's fascinating about the Stones is I would say a casual fan. I like some radio hits. Never got a deep dive. Never bought albums. They were before my time. And I was fortunate enough to see them at Titan Stadium, at Nissan Stadium.
Oh, wow.
And that was one of those moments. It's kind of like wrestling when you see somebody live and you go, I get it now. I got it.
Wow.
They own even me being far back in the stadium, them on the tiny stage, they owned it. They drew your attention there. He was, I don't know, he's old his whole life, it feels like. But, he's 70 and was running and hitting every note, and they're still jamming, and they're just, and you see the respect they have of, they were talking about how many artists were in the backstage just wanting to be there to say hey and shake their hand as fans, and you go, oh, I get it now. Not that I was knocking them. It was just a moment of clarity of, man, they're game changers.
Did you
get it?
Did you ever see Michael Jackson live?
No, I wish I would have.
Yeah, I never saw him live, but and again, I'm not the big Ben watcher in TV. I like documentaries and all that, but like U2 at their peak, when you kind of saw them perform live, and I know post production does a lot, but the you watch, and I'm not saying one song, you watch kind of, I'll say an hour or 45 minutes of Michael Jackson on stage, when he was rolling, you just go, okay.
Yeah.
This guy is a kind of a completely, just on a different level as far as connecting emotionally. Elvis, and I'm seeing somebody chat. Joe Bangles. That's it. Yeah. I mean, that's why, and I, excuse me, to bring it back down, kind of to our business, there's something about certain individuals. So I don't know how we went in this rabbit hole, but
you could almost, we were talking about, he wanted to ask about concert. You could almost, the good charismatic lead singers, you could put it on mute and still watch their concert and just gravitate to watch them.
I agree.
And that's a fascinating deal.
Don't we all love summer vacation, relaxing, laying out by the pool, barbecues, hitting the beach, doing, well, nothing? Well, how about a summer vacation from your house payments? With SaveWithConrad.com, you can do just that. Reduce your monthly payments by making the equity you built up in your home work for you. You can roll together those high interest rate credit cards into one lower monthly payment, and perhaps access some of that newfound equity to turn your house into your dream home with no money out of pocket. And how about this? You get to skip your next 2 house payments. That's right. You won't have to make your June or your July house payment. You're done until August 1st. Go right now to SaveWithConrad.com. Let my team run the numbers for you for free. There's no obligation, and if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. And did I mention we're offering a 3-year guarantee right now? That's right. That means if at any point interest rates improve over the next 3 years, you get a free refi. That's right. No new lender fees from us. So you get to save money now without wasting money later when the rates improve on a whole second set of closing costs. Why not go to SaveWithConrad.com and get a guarantee? Save money now and save money later with your friend in the mortgage business. That's me, Conrad Thompson at SaveWithConrad.com. Shoot me an email at Conrad@SaveWithConrad.com. Give us a call at 888-425-0105. Or get yourself a quick quote, even talk to a live person right now at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. Let's take a summer vacation from house payments at SaveWithConrad.com.